So, first of all, we need a spanner. Adjustable spanner probably works best. What we're going to do, remove that over there, makes us a bit more room. Having two cameras set up, you should be able to see quite well. So we're going to undo this one. As I say, this one we're doing in October, so it isn't going to be much of a problem because it's all fresh. So we don't need to do anything else really. Just take that out. Obviously that's going to be a little bit of a problem there, so we probably need to. I've got some new cables, so what I will do is I'll just cut the top off that. I have got the cable cutters, which are here. So in this case, you see the cable here is a little bit frayed, so I'll replace the cable. That's new cables. So to make it easier, I'll just cut that there and then pull the cable through. That'll make it much easier just to put it from the bottom because the bottom part is a bit frayed. So we get rid of that. So now we can take our bars out completely, and still not able to get that. Well, because of that there. Oh, yeah, so there we go. Pull the bars out completely. You'll get the cable end there and recover that one. So we know where it is. So basically, we've got to remove the headset, and luckily I bought a proper headset tool, which I do believe is 32, is it? Yeah, 32 millimeters. So I say it won't be too tight or too hard to take apart because it's only done in October, so everything's nice and lubricated up. And as you can see, the two cameras, you should be able to see what I'm doing. Obviously I'm blocking the way on one of the cameras, that's why I've got two set up. I say when I had this these forks, it was a little bit do a little bit of work on the headset. I didn't been bashed about at the top, so I had to file it. So there's a little bit stiff at the top, but doesn't cause much problems. As I say, this is aluminium, so it is probably a little bit softer than that, so it will come off quite easily. So remove that. Got the locking ring there, which fits in the. You can see that there, a little bit of a slot there. So that locking ring goes in the slot, and that keeps your headset nice and tight. So you don't have to over tighten it. Also, we remove the bottom one. I think this is a little bit bigger. It's about the same size, I think, actually, is it? It's actually a bit bigger. This is a 32. So top one is 30, and the bottom bit is 32. So it helps when you've got the right tools as well. So as you can see when I'm doing that, you can see nicely when I'm doing that. Got all the bottom of the forks, obviously, because when this gets to the top, the forks are going to drop out. We don't have to make a mess on the floor and stuff fly everywhere. So what we'll do is undo that. As I say, the forks fall out. Obviously, I'm probably a little bit unbalanced now because bike is on there. So what we'll do is we'll stick a toolbox there, and should balance it. And so falling over. So for that bit of extra weight, it'll stop it falling over. So as you can see, these are steel bearings, which should just pop out quite easily. The bottom one has come out with the forks. Top one here is nicely greased up, so it just comes out. A little bit of interference fit that has come out as well. So you can put that over there, and all there. obviously wipe our hands a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to use the bottom part and just change the top part. So I might have to revert that way. So what we'll do, we'll try and get the top one out. So the top one's going out nice and easy. So we might revert to just changing the top one and keeping the bottom one. Obviously that's being sealed as well at the bottom, so that will be nice, keeps the dirt out the bottom, and I think we might have enough play in the headset to be able to do that. So what we'll do now is we'll put a little bit of lithium grease on the inside of here, just in case we take it out again in the future. And then we'll go press tool, and then just put a little bit of top there. Doesn't make any difference. The more grease the better. We'll wipe it off later, the excess. I'll put a little bit on the old bearing cup as well. Doesn't hurt, it is steel and chrome plated, so it will rust if it gets a bit weathered. So that is done. So what we'll do there is put it where we roughly want it. It is a nice interference fit, as I said, so we'll put it there. And then we have a press tool. Now this is probably the one they used for things you can buy. If you're going to put in bottom brackets or headsets in, obviously it makes it much easier, and they can compress and get it nice and easy. It's stuck together for some reason. There you go. What you do is you take your one end off. And I always advise when you're putting cups in as well to do them one at a time. You can do them both at the same time, but I think it is advised because it keeps it a little bit squarer. You do them individually. This has got, as you can see, it's got rings on it. Get out of focus. It's got rings on it, which sometimes actually fit into the cups itself, and you can do it, or you can just do it on the bottom, which is probably the best way of doing it. Make sure you get to the whole lot then, and then all you do then, you drop your screw on, drop your nut on the floor. It's not advisable. All you do then is tighten it up, and then, all being well, that will compress your bearing cup in there all square. So just make sure it's in the right place. And just make sure, just look around when you're putting it in, it is going in square. Obviously this little raised bit here doesn't really help. Keep it square. You need to press the whole lot together. That is not helping. So what we'll do is we'll put it over that, and hopefully we don't damage it too much. As I say, now that is going in pretty square. So this back bit needs a bit more. There we go. So just looking around, it's going in. Okay now, as I say, now it's straightening up. So just tighten that until it fits flush all the way around. Smooth it over a bit. You can see that there on the camera. The cup there is going in square. We've got the little cameras, I think, on the scenes. So as you can see, you want it so it is flush all the way around. See, just a few more millimetres to go. That'll be nice and square. So we'll carry on. Tighten that up. When it sort of stops turning, you know you're flush. And you look around, See, it's alright. That's alright. That's all square. Let's get one more, and that's it. I can take this off. It hasn't damaged my cable locator. So that's good news. Hopefully we can use the bottom. As I say, we can use the bottom of the original Tange headset with the old style chrome cup. What we'll do now is we'll get our lithium grease, good quality lithium grease, water resistant, so it is good for bearings, so it's nice and thick as well. So what we'll do, rub that in to our cup, and generally cover that so it's all covered on the inside. Doesn't matter if you get a bit of excess because you always wipe it off. And then with these cup bearings, what you do, the actual cup goes sort of like with the bearings facing downhill. And if you was using this style on the bottom as well, which we're not, you'll have your cup, you'll have your bearings facing upwards. On the top, it always faces bearings facing downhill, and then on the bottom, the top, your bearings face downhill and facing uphill on the thing. And then we've got our first locking mechanism, which the bearings actually run on. So what we do, stick some grease on that as well. If you can see that, got two cameras on the go, so hopefully we'll pick it up. I know it's hard to focus when you keep moving things around. So we do, then we'll put a bit of grease on the old thread as well. So that way, if you use a bit too much, you can always wipe it off after, and just keeps things lubricated. I know you're never going to ride these bikes out in the rain like we did in the 80s. So what we can do now is pull our bearings back up. These are obviously seal bearings on the bottom, so we'll just lubricate the outside so we can get them in and out easier. And we'll bring our forks back up, and that's it. So that fits nice square, so it looks like we have got enough space to be able to use that. And so we've got two washers now, so we've got a spare one from the other headset if we need to make it a little bit bigger. So this thread was slightly damaged when I had it, so I fired a bit, and so it is going up nicely. And then obviously grease helps. Once it gets past that first few threads, it is good. What you do is just tighten up, hold your forks in place until we reach the bottom, and we can just adjust it later on. There we go. So that is nicely in. Swap the excess grease off everywhere. So we don't have forks to wobble, so that needs to go up a little bit more. There we go. So the forks are just about tight, and we're spinning nicely. Let's nip that up. Then what we have is our locking nut and washer. I say we had that washer I saw earlier, so I think we'll use this because it is, I say, it's got that little bit of a cutout there, which actually there's a slot in the forks there, so that'll go on there. It's got a little serration on the top as well, which will grip. So I think we'll turn it round and grip the bottom of this thing, so that should stop things moving around as well. And then we have got another washer here, so we'll stick that on as well. And with that and that, it shouldn't come loose. So this I've got to thread it. As I said, it's a little bit dodgy on the top because obviously it's a bit damaged. So it will take a little bit of starting it, but we have started it now, I think. Yeah, you probably need a bit of a rag just to grip it. There we go. You don't have to cross thread it. Obviously if it starts making noises and does go really tight, it means you're cross threading. So stop immediately. But as I say, as you pass the first few threads, it's fine. And obviously the lithium grease we've got will help. That's what we'll do. Just knit that up. So that is so any interference fits. So what we'll do is just give that a little bit of a tap, just to tighten it up. So that should be. So we don't know moving to the bearings. I want it to spin nicely. That sounds good. That feels good. So just give that a little bit of a tap again. What we'll do, get the old camera out and just show what we've done. So, as you saw earlier, we had trouble getting this bottom cup out, so I decided to leave it, which is I thought I had originally anyway, being sill bearings. They are better for the weather, and obviously the spray coming off the wheels if you do go out in the rain and dust, it'll keep everything tight. What we've done, we've changed the top bearing for the ACS rotor, so obviously that will need to be cut off and rerouted for there. We'll make it a nice loop, we'll see that later on. And then obviously we've got a locking nut on there, and I'll just stick this last nut on, and then we'll just nip that up, and then we can put the stem back in. Not forgetting to put all the accessories onto the stem before we finish. So as you see, snip that up. I'll just turn this off for now. As we've got our 30mm spanner, they all seem to be the same as headsets. So it is a little bit tight. Start off with, once you get past the fourth through thread, it is nice. It was a little bit damaged, so over and over again, and just hit them all. It's tighten up nicely. So, obviously we chrome plate it, probably a little bit tight. Put a little bit too much chrome on it. And just nip that up. That's it, not too tight. Just make sure we spin. Just make sure no movement in the headset. Just don't seem to be. A little bit of grease in there. Don't harm anything because it makes things be hard to get things out later. Put a little bit of grease on the headset as well, on the stem as well. So what we'll do now is, as you can see, yes, so that's the stem. So we need to just remove our bolt, and so it's been sprayed. I'll spray the shaft as well just to protect it from the elements. So just remove the cone. There you see, our cable guide for the top. So it's in focus. So that will just fit under the bolt. And we've got a little guide there, so it'll just go shape. So it goes with the thread facing downhill, so you can adjust it. That goes through there like that. It fits so flush. All you do is put your cone back on. Obviously it's not only about 5mm thick, so it's not going to make much difference to anything. So that is on now, and so that we can adjust it. And so luckily it'll probably need to go that way because of the shape of the stem, so we go that way. So what we'll do now is stick our ACS rotor on. Yeah, so what we'll do now is just put a little bit of grease on the stem, and put a little bit on that thread as well. A little bit there, it doesn't make no difference. It doesn't, people say, oh well you can't, it won't grip if you put a bit of grease. Well, it doesn't, it does grips. Interference fits, so it does grease. So I'll put a little bit of grease on the shaft. Obviously if your shaft is a little bit too short, you need to get a longer shaft. You probably need a shaft so this length, which is probably a good 5 inches long, because obviously your rotor makes your stem sit up a little bit tight. So what we do, let's use ACS rotor, so your cap goes on the top. I need to undo that a little bit, let's see, to get over that cone. Just undo that a little bit. So ACS rotor just fits over there nicely. Yeah. To undo that a little bit more. I should try it actually, it actually does fit on before I've done all this. Anyway, so there's the rotor. There's a shaft, here we go, it goes on easy. There we go. So that'll go up and down on the shaft. So all we need to do now is put that through the bolt. I mean, obviously put the bolt thing through it later on. Whilst we've done it before, so we'll just put that over there. It goes in there like that, that's it. Lovely jubbly. So, just show you close up what we've done. So just to run through, what we've done is change the top cup to a cable routing cup. There, here's our cable route for the top there, so that'll fit. We'll tighten up later, so it'll fit nicely in the middle. Obviously this stem, you can't have it on the side really because it's quite thick there, so obviously in the middle doesn't make no difference there, because this part there and that part there, just so they run it individually. That's what makes it rotor spin, and then that little shaft will go up and down on there like that. So basically that is one that's sitting flush like that. That is the height you need it. So it actually sort of is sort of a stem sort of strengthener as well really, because you've got a metal shaft there, so it'll keep the stem nice and a little bit stronger really. So there we go. So we'll just do it and turn it on. Right. So what we'll do now is just roughly get the handlebars. So obviously make sure your forks are in the right way. Obviously with your wheel facing the right way. Some people bring them backwards and think, oh, what's going on here? That's wrong. We'll just nip this up for now. We can always adjust it later on. We'll just get it in the sort of right position. Obviously, need to keep that sort of in the middle. That sort of in the middle. So just nip it up for now. Put those roughly sort of where we need them. Nip it up. Now that's what we need. Right, so the front one is sort of already done. I've got some grease on top of that. Just wipe that up. Our front cable is already routed, so we just attach that to the brake when we get it. Right, so now our next stage is attaching the cable. So what we'll do now is just nip this off. Careful not to damage the cable. So this needs to be cut down. So that is not too bad, but we could use it for the top off. So we'll say this one. What we'll do, we'll pull it out. Keep that, and then all we need to do, because this needs to go there. Obviously you usually have end bits on cables, but for this reason it's a little bit tight, so you can't really have it in it. So what we need to do there is cut this down to size. Do that, so we'll pull that out again and stick it on there. It just makes it a little bit neater, and also stops any dirt getting in as well. Just a little hole that goes through there. I say it's sort of the right length now. Pulls nicely. So this is not something that actually is on the rotors as normal, but If you remember the Skyway Spin Master, the top half they had some little springs. So what I thought was just a little spring in the top half there, and I don't think it's going to harm it in any way. It's a little bit more springiness when you pull the lever there. Don't think it's going to do any harm. So what we do now is just make sure everything's there. That is a 10mm nut there. So you can change that to a stainless one if you want to. Most people do that nut. So this is a brand new Rotor Pro model which has not been used. Just been stored away over 30 odd years, probably about 1988. Look at that. I'll say look at that. So basically that's how it works. And I think that spring there is not doing any harm at all. Maybe, and just see it, pointy bits on your pliers, just nip it. 1, 2. Oop, I should cut through the thing, a bit silly. Never mind. And I just, it's actually cable flying, that's nice as well being green. And then what we'll do is we'll run that cable where it needs to be. The old 8mm spanner. Just there we go. That's better. So just tighten that up. People say you need a third hand tool, fourth hand tool. But, you just hold the plate box together. Tighten it up. And the wafer off. That's actually better than I would have thought. There we go. Mistake number 1. Get eventually. Right. Both sides are moving as well, which is good. So we're going to take 77s on there. I think it'll be quite good. I think these Bulldog brakes are a little bit better than the old nip-ons we had on first. So, see if we can reuse this one. I'll spread it out a bit. Oh, sorry. Hey, well, that brings up. Right. So, to sum up. We've got our ACS Rotor on there. So springs are optional. Lovely. Spins individually, top and bottom, so you can spin your bars round. Don't know why this seat is suddenly in the way. It never was before. Oh, I know why it's in the way, because the bar has gone up higher than it was before. So the stem was low down before, so it was going about here before, wasn't it? That's why. Yeah, it was going here about here before, and that's why it's now catching the seat, the bars, because obviously the stem is a lot higher than it was before. It's probably only 1.5 inches out, but now it's probably 2 inches out. That's why. So as I said, I need to cut these bars down anyway. That's a job. needs to be done, and we'll do an update when that is done. So the cable now is run through there, so just a cable tie, and then when we get off the stand, put the front brake on, done. That's nothing too serious. That's been shown loads of times on YouTube, so we don't need to do that. So over and out for me. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and put a like to it if you like. And say we've got a follow-up video coming when we can get round to it comes in the Rotor ACS Rotor Pro model, taking it apart, showing you the bearings, and taking it apart, give it a good clean, polish up, and how it works inside. So that's it for me. Have a nice evening, and we'll see you next time.